From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Welcome to Local Point, brought to you by Strata Networks. I'm your host, Chris Piner. On today's show, we're going to be visiting with some of the cast members of the upcoming Uintah High School production of Mary Poppins. So welcome you two to the studio first, and in the next segment, we're going to invite Mary and Bert to come to the set too. But first, why don't you both introduce yourself and tell us the character that you play in the show?
Well, I'm Aiden Piner, and I will be playing Robertson I, the butler of the house, and I get to be a little comedian.
Very good, very good.
And I'm Yeager Oaks, and I play Admiral Boom. I'm the crazy next door neighbor.
I like that. Now, we should say that this is the stage production of Mary Poppins. Can either of you tell me how it's different from the movie?
Well, the movie is the Disney version, and the stage production is more focused on the book. It will have the music of the Disney, but it's more on the book, not the movie. So we'll have some different numbers, and some numbers that were in the movie won't be in the stage production.
I mean, even a few added songs, but all of the familiar characters, all of the familiar songs, almost all of them anyway, from the movie from the 60s, a couple more songs. That's good. I think that's probably an important point, so that audiences come expecting a new take on Mary Poppins, some new adventures, some new stories. Yeager, what would you say is your favorite part of this version?
I actually like the playing the game scene, the one where all of the dolls and toys come alive and they extract their revenge upon the children.
Well said, well said. That's a scene that can be done a little spooky. Mm-hmm. I've seen a few productions of it, and it's a little nightmarish. So if your young children are coming, then be aware of that scene. It's not horrible, but it's definitely different from the movie. Jane and Michael are a little naughty, and they don't treat their toys very well. So if you've seen Toy Story or the other Disney stories where the toys kind of teach the kids a lesson, Mary Poppins and the toys kind of help there too. Yeah, that's a good example. What about you, Aiden? You have a favorite part of the musical?
Well, it might just be because it's part of my scene, but it has to be Spoonful of Sugar. It's my favorite just because of what happens in the scene, and there's magic in the scene, and that's just my favorite.
And it's one that everyone knows and everyone leaves singing, right? A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Very good. Well, give us, both of you, just a couple of details here. Yeager, I'll start with you. When are the dates? When does Mary Poppins open?
Mary Poppins opens March 6th, and it goes through till the 13th.
The 13th, that's right.
Yes, and that is excluding the 8th.
Which is Sunday, so there's no Sunday performance. Very good. March 6th through the 13th. And Aiden, tell me what time does it start, first of all?
Well, we'll start at 7. We ask that you come at 6:30. That's when the house will open, and we should have a pre-show, and it should be really fun. And we ask you have no kids under the age of 4 to come in. And
very good. We actually lowered it this year. We've said no children under 5. So, well, it's a Disney story. We thought we'd lower at least 1 year, but probably best to keep the babes in arms and really young ones at home with a babysitter, just out of courtesy to the rest of the audience, right? Yeah, that's great. But I think kids will love this. I think families will love it. I think adults will love it. And I think our viewers know that these are my kids, right? I call them mine. This one actually is mine, my son. But this one's mine too. I claim them all when they're in my cast and in our program, and I'm the director again this year. So that's great. Now, Yeager, how much are tickets and how does one get them?
Tickets are going to be $10 at the door, but if you buy them from a cast member or crew, they will be $8.
Very good, and that's in advance. That's before the show opens, so that deal doesn't extend beyond March 6th. So buy tickets in advance from cast members, and that's a good deal, right? A little savings.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent. They will be available at the door as well. So if that's your thing, and you've heard wonderful things about the show and you want to come and see it, then, well, yeah, you can pick them up at the door as well. So as long as they last. We hope they sell out. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jaeger, if you had to pick a song from the show that you leave singing each night, which one gets stuck in your head the most?
I'd say Step in Time. It is so catchy, and the dance that goes along with it, you know, the choreography goes just along with the words. And so I always leave singing that one.
Right, and that just like the movie, right? The same
yes.
song for the movie. And both of you are in that number, aren't you?
Yes.
Right, so you get to play chimney sweeps as well, dirty up the face a little bit, and sing along up on the rooftops of London. All right. Well, I'm glad that you both came today, and our viewing audience is in for another treat. You get to see two more of the cast members. We'll have Emily Kitzmiller, who's playing Mary Poppins, and Colin Peterson, who plays Bert, the man of many talents, chimney sweep and artist and musician as well. So we thank you both for coming, and we'll let you get back to rehearsal. In the next segment, we'll be discussing a little more information, and you'll see those two guests from the high school, so you won't want to miss that. We'll be right back after this message from our sponsor, Strata Networks.
With advanced all-digital cable television from Strata Networks, you can enjoy jaw-dropping digital picture on hundreds of channels, exclusive local programming with VTV6, and follow your favorite college teams in incredible HD on the Pac-12 network, all with no contracts, no costly equipment, and no dishes mounted to your home. For details, visit your Strata store in Roosevelt or Vernal or call 622-5007. Strata Networks. We connect lives.
Welcome back to Local Point. I'm joined by Emily Kitzmiller and Colin Peterson from the Uintah High School production of Mary Poppins. And I don't think I even need to tell them the parts that you're both playing. But you can tell them anyway.
Okay. I'm playing Mary Poppins.
That's right.
And I'm playing Bert.
Bert, the guy who doesn't really have a last name, does he? He's just Bert.
He doesn't. Dick Van Dyke, I guess, but just
That's
Bert.
what we call it. Okay, yeah. Well, Colin and Emily, I'm so glad that you came here today. And I get to see them every night at practice, and they are just wonderful. Now, today, they are here as Emily and Colin. If you come and see the play, you'll see them in a totally different character, speaking with a totally different accent, and singing all of the songs that we've all come to love from Mary Poppins. So do either of you know a little bit of the background of how this finally became a stage production?
Oh, I think I learned a little bit about that. So P.L. Travers was the author of the book, and when Disney made their movie, she wasn't a big fan of the movie, but then there was someone else who really wanted to adapt it to a screenplay, and she finally agreed to that, but then they also wanted the Disney songs, and it just all came together.
Right, yeah. That's exactly what it is. So this was a mixture of the great producer Cameron McIntosh, who's done all the huge musicals in the past 50 years, and he's an Englishman himself. Now, P.L. Travers hasn't been gone for very long. I don't remember exactly when she passed away, but it was within the past 10, 15 years. This stage production is very new, and it's right off the Broadway stage and here in little old Vernal. In fact, we are one of the very first high schools to be producing it. We should have been the first, but another high school beat us by just 2 weeks.
Oh.
By 2 weeks. So you're right there at the very beginning, and I expect you may have an audience from around the state coming out to see what Mary Poppins looks like on stage. How do you feel about that, Emily?
I don't know. That's really exciting.
It is exciting. Now, tell us some of the things that, Colin, what our audience is going to get to see in this production of Mary Poppins?
Well, obviously you can tell the wonderful costumes that we already have going on here, just bright and wonderful, but also great dancing and the songs that you love, plus even more. It's just all around exciting.
Very good. I love that. How about you, Emily? What do you think audiences will be talking about when they leave this production?
The magic. I'm
Right.
so excited. I'm gonna fly, and Colin's going to fly, sort of. I don't know. I'm really excited for the magic, and then there's also effects like the bag. I pull magical stuff out of my bag.
Right.
And yeah, just everything.
Yeah, I like that. I think you're right. Audiences will definitely be talking about those things, and you just might want to come back and see some more. Let's review some of the details. When again are the dates? When is Mary Poppins playing? Emily?
Well, we open March 6th, and then we go the 6th and 7th, and then that 8th is a Sunday, right?
Right.
So we don't go the 8th, but then the rest of that week, the 9th through the 13th.
That's right. That's right. And these, the whole cast and crew is prepared for a sellout. And if that happens, then we could even have a holdover date on the 14th. But we'll wait and see if the need comes up. And it starts again at
7
o'clock, very
Yes.
promptly. So
Promptly.
anybody who's come to our Uintah High School theater productions, they know that when the clock hits the time that it says to start, it starts, even if there's a little bit of a line. So barring technical difficulties, we start very promptly on time. And Colin, what about tickets? Tell us about those.
Well, tickets are $8 if you buy them from cast members. They are $10 at the door, so get them from cast members if you can, but if not, come anyway.
That's good. That's good. And actually, the cast and crew are all asked to sell tickets, and they have a quota they're trying to reach. So they would love it if you contacted them. But and a little bit of a ticket money savings if they do it too. So that's great. But yeah, tickets available at the door, and the house opens at 6:30. So come early and sit down and look at the program. There's some great things to read in there, and soak in the ambiance, the atmosphere of Mary Poppins. Emily, if I ask you a favorite part of the musical, what would you have to say?
I really like this scene that we're dressed up for right now, Jolly Holiday, because there's a lot of magic and dancing, and I think it's really fun because it's colorful and bright.
Oh, I like that. And you can see that our costumers took inspiration from the film for this scene anyway. The Jolly Holiday scene is very, very much like what we've all come to see and love, isn't it? What do you think?
I really like Step in Time. I mean, the dancing is wonderful, and tap dancing is even better. It's a chance where Bert gets to go out with all his chimney sweeps and show the children some of the magic that happens there, and it's just a party on the rooftops.
Oh, I like that. There is some tap dancing, and actually, Colin, you've been in preparation, anticipating that this was a role that you wanted. You started studying tap dance and taking lessons clear back last summer. Is that right?
Yes.
And so Colin's got a fantastic tap dance solo in the middle of the Step in Time number, and yeah, you won't want to miss that. You're going to want to put your tap shoes on and take some lessons too, right? It's pretty cool stuff. Yeah, well, that's great. So what song do you both leave singing after the show is over? Is there one, or do you have them all running through your head?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yeah, that one.
I'm glad that you both brought that one up. This has become one of the big showpieces of the production, isn't it? So the audiences will have to come and see how it's different on stage than it is in the movie. Right? I'm glad you said that. Thanks for coming, you two. And you're going to want to come and see these guys on stage, and we thank you for joining us here on Local Point. Make sure you come out and see Mary Poppins this year, March 6th through the 13th at the Uintah High School Auditorium. That's all for now. Remember to like us on Facebook for updates on your favorite VTV programming. We'll see you next time.